For many people, going to school and getting an education is much like buying a new pair of shoes. Everyone does it, it's a basic part of life. Unfortunately, some people can afford to buy new shoes, just like how many people can afford a higher education. For many people, their education stops after they graduate high school because they can no longer afford their education after their senior year. Getting new shoes seems like such a basic task to so many, but to some it's a luxury, just like how education is a luxury. Many good-paying jobs require a higher education, which makes sense, but because a higher education is so costly, many people are forced to choose jobs that have low income, which starts to a vicious cycle that is hard to get out of. So my audience today is filled with college students that will most likely graduate from KU with student loans that they have to work hard to repay. No one student is the same. Some of you may have full-ride scholarships while others may have to pay completely out of pocket. As a student at the University of Kansas, I know how expensive a higher education can be, and I can personally say that I will be working hard to repay my student loans after I graduate. Education shouldn't be a luxury but affordable to all. Our goal as a society should be to better ourselves, and what better way is that than to provide a free education for the next generations to come. There are three main reasons why college should be free. 1, it would expand access to education. 2, it has economic and social benefits for the country. And 3, it could help repair historic inequities. These points were briefly explained along with others in an article by Amelia Josephone written May 18th in 2018. My first point is higher education shouldn't be a privilege but a right to all, and free college would allow that to be possible. In an article by Tracy McMillan Cottom, written in the fall of 2015, they state the obvious as to why more people don't attend college, and it being how costly it is. In this article, they also define how there are two types of college students, a traditional college student and a non-traditional college student. They define a traditional college student as someone who graduates high school and immediately attends college, and they define a non-traditional college student as anything that contrasts that. Free college would especially benefit non-traditional college students because typically they have other factors in their life that interfere with paying for higher education. Many people whose parents can't afford to pay for their college, or they themselves cannot afford to pay for their college, are thrown into a 9-to-5 work life straight out of high school. This creates more responsibilities that are time costly and money costly. This then creates the idea that attending college is a waste of time and money because they can't devote a majority of their time to their studies, leading them to believe that they won't pass their classes and graduate, leading them to believe that the money they spent on college was wasted while it could have been spent on things they needed, such as rent money or food. If college was free, people wouldn't feel like they needed to choose between necessities to live or an education that can better their life. For everyone, life is just your luck of the draw. For some people, they are born into privilege, like the Kardashians, for example, while others are born into poverty. Education is the best way to improve your circumstances, and everyone knows that. Well-paying jobs such as lawyers or doctors require higher education. For example, a brain surgeon. They have to go to school for many years, which is extremely expensive. So going to undergrad, med school, and then paying for the study things they need, their textbooks, the equipment they need. All in all, this makes it a very expensive career path to take, as really hard for many to afford. Now, say a child born into poverty would be the person to cure brain cancer. If they don't even have the chance to attend undergrad school and prove that they can do the work, get the grades, and attend medical school, then the cure to brain cancer will never exist. Revolutionary ideas and discoveries can come from all walks of life. If college was free, imagine what kind of advancements and discoveries we could make. The 44th President of the United States, Barack Obama, is an advocate for free college. President Obama has said, every American should be able to earn the skills and education necessary to compete in today's 21st century economy. My second point is that a more educated population would have economic and social benefits for the country. Due to the events this past year, the American economy isn't in its best shape. Many believe free college is a great start to rebuilding the economy while also allowing everyone to get an equal chance to get ahead. In an article by Morley Winograd and Max Lubin, written November 2nd, 2020, they explain how free college should be a priority in the economic recovery plan for 2021. Research has proven that the economic benefits of free community college outweigh the cost, which is why many states already have some form of free college. The Democratic Party of 2020 is already in support of making 2 years of community college tuition free, with guidelines similar to the Obama administration 2015 plan. The article by Morley Winograd and Max Lubin compared the benefits of free college for Americans as the Depression-era Works Progress Administration initiative. That program created immediate work for the unemployed, while free college would provide a free education, allowing Americans the leg up in this economy that they didn't have before. Free college education would eliminate the stigma that without a college education, you are not as valuable as those who are. It comes as no surprise that someone who is more educated is to be more reliable. For example, would you take legal advice from a lawyer or your roommate? The obvious answer is your lawyer, because they studied law and they know what they're talking about, and they've been educated in it. Free college levels the playing field in a sense, allowing America to become more equal. An article published by the Associations of Public and Land-Grant Universities in 2015 provided statistics of an average college graduate being 24% more likely to be employed. An average earning among graduates are $32,000 higher annually and $1 million higher over a lifetime. The article also includes that those with college degrees are 2 times as likely to volunteer and contribute 3.5 times more money to charity. Research has proven that college benefits our society and our economy. My final point is free college would help restore historic inequities. Racism in America is still very much alive. While there isn't as much blatant racism as there was during the Civil Rights Movement, systematic racism is still very prevalent today. Systematic racism has embedded so deeply into society that it affects many different things, such as discrimination in the criminal justice system, employment, housing, healthcare, politics, education, among other things. Racism has been a large point of discussion and education for many years. Not long ago, the fight for desegregation had happened, and it was a long and brutal one. Systematic racism works like a chain reaction. Systematic racism can affect how much a person makes at their job, affecting how much money they can have, affecting the education they can afford, thus then affecting the jobs they can have. An article by Kiri Montgomery, written October 29, 2020, explains how barely any progress on the funding gap for colleges that serve disproportionate shares of students of color since the last recession in the U.S. worried the gap will widen as the U.S. heads into another recession. Free college would put these fears to rest and allow systematic racism to no longer play a part in education. Free college would be a step in the right direction to change systematic racism in today's society. In the article by Mila Josephone, written May 18, 2018, they explain how if your great-grandparents, your grandparents, and your parents all went to college, you are more likely to go to college. Because of racism, many families of color their family members did not get the opportunity to attend college. Free college would allow us to fix this racial inequity. For all of you who have the privilege to afford a college education, pretend for a moment that you couldn't. Imagine what your life would be like if you didn't have the opportunity. How would you feel? Would you be in support of free college if the option of college was just out of reach because of its cost? Education shouldn't be a luxury but affordable for all. Our goals as a society should be to better ourselves, and what better way is that than to provide free education for the next generations to come? To give everyone equal opportunities, to fix racial inequities, and to better our economy, especially while we're heading into another recession, sounds like an everyone wins situation to me. With a need for an economic recovery plan in America for 2021, I urge everyone to push for free college. The evidence is there. The benefits of free college outweigh the cost. Make education a necessity, not a luxury. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think that there should be certain requirements to receive free college like there is for community colleges?
Well, for community college, it's basically just the basics of college, of a college education, so those should just be free to all. But for colleges like University of Kansas, Clemson, colleges like that, there still should be the guidelines of like GPA, test scores, stuff like that. But once they get in, like, personally, I think they should be free, but I think a very good first step would just be to allow free college, like community college, but eventually we'd get, like, better. Because those are public schools, but there are also private colleges, but these ones are, like, public, and state schools and whatnot.
Where do you think that they should get the money to give people free college?
Well, because we are heading towards another recession, the best way to, like, fix our economy will be through taxes. And so taxes will be raised, but it also, in the long run, it will be better because we will have better jobs and more educated people. And if the more, like, educated people we have, then the better ideas we can come up with for less costly taxes and more affordable plans that work for everyone.
Do you think private schools should be free too?
No, because private schools are not funded by the government. Like private high schools or private elementary schools, those are not funded by the government. So, and that's a choice you make. And most private schools typically are based around religion. And so, due to like separation of church and state, no, because that's your choice to get that education. But education from all other public schools funded by the government should be free and not costly. Any more questions? Okay. Thank you.